उधर हिंदुस्तान की एक बेटी को मार दिया गया। जो अपराध करता है उसके खिलाफ कुछ नहीं होता, और जो मारा जाता है, कुचला जाता है, दबाया जाता है, उसके खिलाफ कार्रवाई होती है।
छोटी छोटी बच्चियों के साथ उत्तर प्रदेश में बलात्कार हो रहा है। बलात्कार करने के बाद उनके शरीर को छत विछत कर दिया जा रहा है, हत्याएं हो रही हैं। आपकी सरकार को जंगल राज भी कहना कम होगा।
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You heard the outrage of the self-appointed crusaders for women's rights over the brutal murder of a 19-year-old girl in Hathras. But is this concern and crusade for justice selective? Is the India alliance guilty of a conspiracy of silence when it comes to opposition-ruled states? Watch what happened to a Beti in Bengal. A 31-year-old resident doctor was raped and brutally murdered. Her neck was snapped, her face smashed before she was murdered. Shards of glasses pierced her own pupils, making her eyes bleed. The initial autopsy allegedly also says that she was bleeding profusely from her mouth and even her private parts. There were injuries on her leg, belly, neck, and ankles. I shudder to think about the horror that this young girl endured in those final moments. And yet, there is complete silence. Rahul Gandhi, Akhilesh Yadav, Sanjay Singh don't have a single tear to shed for her. Is it because she was a Beti of Bengal ruled by Mamata Banerjee and the Trainee Congress government and not a BJP-ruled state? Sample how the Calcutta High Court has today wrapped the Bengal Sarkar over the lapses and handed over the case to the CBI. It asked, why did the police file a case of unnatural death despite the brutality of the crime? It also highlighted serious lapses that the principal statement was not recorded for 5 long days. It also observed that after a lapse of 5 days, there is no progress in investigation, only one arrest so far, which was made on day 1. The parents fear evidence tampering and witness intimidation if the state probes this death. Remember, in the last 5 days, only one accused, Sanjoy Roy, has been arrested. Now, here a doctor who is privy to the autopsy report claimed that there is ample evidence of possible gang rape. There is also a viral audio allegedly of 2 medical students discussing the role of an intern from the family of a high and mighty. So did more than one person ravage and brutalize this young doctor? Watch and listen in for yourself.
One man cannot inflict all these injuries. And the samples they collected, the forensic experts collected, it includes more than 150 grams, to be more specific, 151 grams of white, thick, viscid fluid from her inside her vagina. And that seems to be semen.
রিপোর্টে যেরকম ইনজুরিজ আছে দিদির, হ্যাঁ, তাতে দাদা একজনের কাছ তো নয়, মিনিমাম 2 বা 3 জন।
কারা হতে পারে, কি সাসপেক্ট করছিস তোরা আরজি করার ছেলেরা?
আমরা দাদা সাসপেক্ট করছি এটা ইন্টার্নের কাজ, ঠিক আছে, এবং যে ইন্টার্ন তার যথেষ্ট পলিটিক্যাল ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড আছে, তার ফ্যামিলি মেম্বারও যথেষ্ট উচ্চ পদস্থ, ঠিক আছে, নাম নিতে পারবো না কারণ দাদা আমারই সমস্যা হয়ে যাবে, বাট
না, নাম নিতে হবে না, একদম নাম নিতে হবে না।
না দাদা সেটাই, এবং তাকে প্রোটেকশন দেওয়ার জন্যই মানে খারাপ লাগছে ভাবতে যে আমার ব্যাচমেটই এরকম করতে পারে, এবং কলেজ অথরিটি এতটা নির্লজ্জ যে তাকে সেফগার্ড করার জন্য এত কটা গেমস খেলা হচ্ছে।
Could there be somebody who's connected to high and mighty? That's the question being raised. The BJP has alleged that there is collusion and cover-up by the state to shield a gang rape in which the high and mighty are involved. The Trinamool Congress, despite the tongue-lashing by the High Court, is quick to remind of Hathras, Unnao and Prayagraj horrors. Listen in.
वेस्ट बंगाल की सरकार ने इस केस को हशप करने की कोशिश की, दबाने की कोशिश की और जनता के आंखों में धूल झोंकने की कोशिश की है। मैं इसकी भी कड़े शब्दों में निंदा करता हूं।
तो उन्नाव में क्या हुआ था, हथरस में क्या हुआ था, प्रयागराज में क्या हुआ था, गुजरात के बिल्किस से वहां क्या हुआ था, अभी साक्षी मालिक जो लोग एलिगेशन था उस पे क्या हुआ था।
Well, forget the politics. Let's get you a fact check of the alleged lapses that the Bengal Sarkar must answer for. First, the police initially registered a case of unnatural death. In fact, the information to the family was that it was a suicide, despite the victim found in a semi-naked condition with injuries all over her body. They didn't even probe why a doctor called and told her father that she died of suicide. The statement of the principal was not recorded initially, in fact, for 5 days, and he resigned on day 4 and was rehabilitated as the principal of the Calcutta National Medical College merely 4 hours after resignation from RG Kar College. It took the cops 5 days to even question the 4 doctors who were with her earlier that night and had dinner with the victim. And finally, if the autopsy alleges gang rape, why only 1 arrest so far? So what stops the Hathras lobby from now condemning the Bengal Sarkar for burying facts like they did in Uttar Pradesh? Does this Beti of Bengal not deserve justice? The legitimate question that we are asking on the Newshour tonight. Isn't this selective outrage by the Hathras lobby? That's the question, and that's the debate on the other.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate tonight, Shehzad Poonawala, national spokesperson of the BJP. Also joining the debate tonight is Priya Shetty Rajagopal. She's a citizen voice. We have Anurag Bhadoria joining the debate. Arka Kumar Nag, lawyer and political analyst supporting the Trinamool Congress, joining us in just a bit. Also joining us in a bit would be Dr. Subarna Goswami, additional General Secretary, All India Federation of Government Doctors and member of the Joint Forum of Doctors. But my first question goes to Tehseen Poonawala, supporter of the Congress Party. And Tehseen Poonawala, I'm pained to ask you this question because there seems to be complete silence as far as Rahul Gandhi or the Aam Aadmi Party or the Samajwadi Party is concerned. Rahul Gandhi had, time to talk about Hindenburg, no time to talk about this Beti of Bengal?
Navika ji, first of all, I honestly believe there should not be politics on rape. But yes, I'm glad that the expectations of this nation, including anchors like you, very senior, is only from Rahul Gandhi ji, and not the Honorable Prime Minister or Honorable Home Minister who haven't spoken on anything. Neither are Betis from the Wrestling Federation, neither in Uttar Pradesh, neither in West Bengal. So we have no expectations from. We've established that. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra ji has spoken about it. She said justice must be delivered. The Congress is fighting on the ground, including Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary. I saw the visuals on your TV screen. The question to TMC that must be asked, and I hope these are the questions, otherwise why is Rahul Gandhi not speaking, because the Prime Minister's abdicated responsibility, is a government employee was raped in a government hospital by a government employee, hired by the West Bengal government. That is the first question that needs to ask. Number 2, this government employee who drew a salary from us taxpayers, what has been the follow-up procedure? Why was the principal reinstated within 24 hours, within 5 or 6 hours? And why did it take 5 days to question him? Why Sunday to hand over the inquiry to the CBI? Is Sunday a special day? These are the questions that need to be asked. We also need to ask the Honorable Home Minister of India, Amit Shah ji, one question. I believe the IMA has written a very strong letter to the Honorable Home Minister. This is not the first time doctors across India are facing this kind of violence, including mob violence. There are Supreme Court judgments, including in my case. What has the Honorable Home Minister of India done and delivered? Has he called a meeting of the IMA? Has he taken a meeting meeting with the Honorable Health Minister? These are the questions. Yes, this is a state issue, but has the IMAs written to the Honorable Home Minister? What has he done? I think these are the questions that need to be asked as questions of the Honorable Chief Minister of West Bengal.
Shehzad Poonawalla, questions are all for the BJP, whatever the situation, wherever the situation.
Navika, I wish Tehseen would understand what the meaning of a rhetorical question is, because Navika's questions did not betray a sense of her expectation from Rahul Gandhi, but in fact that she expects only this from Rahul Gandhi. The same Rahul Gandhi who speaks about Manipur, Hathras and Unnao because it is convenient for him, and on all of these issues actions were done. Nobody defended any rapist, and in fact those people got convicted or actions were done. Parliament saw discussion. The same Rahul Gandhi, Tehseen Poonawalla, keeps quiet on Sandesh Khali because the name of the accused is Shahjah. He keeps quiet on Kannauj because the name of the accused is Nawab Yadav. He keeps quiet on Ayodhya, where a 12-year-old Nishad Samaj girl was killed, was raped and a video was removed because the name of the accused is Mohit Khan. He stays quiet in his own state of Karnataka where Neha Hiremat is killed. He stays quiet on Uttar Dinajpur where Tajmul does a Talibani beating and he is defended. He stays quiet on Swati Maliwal where Rajya Sabha MP has been beaten up inside Sheesh Mahal, and even Sanjay Singh had acknowledged that, and it is said that this is a small issue. But Rahul Gandhi and the Trinamool Congress must answer the following questions that the BJP is the only one asking on the ground, not the Congress party. First of all, the attempt has been to always cover up and side with the accused. Be it Sandesh Khali, you stand with Shahjah. Be it the Park Street rape case, you character assassinate the victim of the rape case, you give a clean sheet to the accused, and now be it in this particular case, you give a suicide angle. Secondly, you are not in hurry of ensuring the investigation takes place, but you are in hurry in ensuring the reinstatement of the principal takes place because he was the one trying to cover up. Thirdly, experts are saying that more than one rapist is there involved in this entire matter. The other rapist, as per Times of India, who has quoted a statement of an intern, was perhaps from a politically connected family. So which rapists were being tried to be saved in this Nirbhaya type episode? Fourthly, the CBI inquiry was being demanded by the doctors on the ground from day one. Why were you delaying it till the High Court had to step in and say that evidence will be destroyed if it is not given immediately? This means it has no confidence in your government like it did not have in the post-poll violence on which Rahul Gandhi said not a word. Fifthly, shouldn't the health minister and the WCD minister of West Bengal take accountability? The WCD minister Shashi Panja, when two women were stripped in Malda, she had said, "Kitne kapde nikle? Thode hi to nikle." I don't think anybody made such shameless statements from the BJP. And fifthly, how was this man in the Police Welfare Board? And he had a case against beating his own wife, yet he's in the Police Welfare Board. And who's the Home Minister? It is Mamata Banerjee. And therefore, the question today is that there is secular sannata. Secular sannata of Rahul Gandhi, secular sannata of Akhilesh Yadav. From Kannauj to Kolkata, one thing is common, not Samvidhan Bachao, not Beti Bachao, Balatkari Bachao, अपना हित देखते हुए.
अनुराग भदौरिया, एक भी स्टेटमेंट नहीं. अखिलेश जी एक स्टेटमेंट तो दे सकते थे ना बंगाल की बेटी के लिए, लेकिन एक भी स्टेटमेंट नहीं है. कन्नौज पर चुप्पी, अयोध्या पर चुप्पी, बंगाल पर चुप्पी. और यही अगर बीजेपी के खिलाफ कुछ होता तो ट्वीट पर ट्वीट, केशव मौर्य दिल्ली क्यों जा रहे हैं, मॉनसून ऑफर, उन सब चीजों पर ट्वीट होती है. एक बेटी के लिए कुछ कहा नहीं जा सकता?
नाविका जी, ये तो पता चलता ना, चोर मचाए शोर. सुना होगा ना आपने. सरकार किसकी है? भारतीय जनता पार्टी की उत्तर प्रदेश में. पुलिस प्रशासन किसके पास है? भारतीय जनता पार्टी के पास. और कन्नौज की घटना हो जाती है. 4 अगस्त को कन्नौज के एसपी साहब उस व्यक्ति को अवार्ड देते हैं, कहते हैं सम्मानित, सर्वोच्च नागरिक सम्मान का अवार्ड देते हैं कि अच्छा काम करते, इसलिए इनको अवार्ड दिया जा रहा है 4 अगस्त को. और क्या वो एसपी साहब को यह नहीं पता है कि व्यक्ति क्या काम कर रहा है? समाजवादी पार्टी से उसका कोई लेना देना नहीं है, और समाजवादी पार्टी से पहले से ही हमने 5 साल से उसका कोई लेना देना नहीं है. दूसरी बात, सरकार अपनी छुपाने के लिए, कहते हैं ना, कानून व्यवस्था चुकी, ध्वस्त हो चुकी है, छुपाने के लिए हल्ला मचाना शुरू करती है. इसकी पार्टी का, उसका पार्टी का. अरे भैया, कन्नौज की घटना हुई, हथरस की घटना हुई, बीएचयू की घटना हुई, लखीमपुर की घटना हुई, यहां कानपुर की घटना हुई. भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार जब कर्नाटका में थी तो रमन्ना जी की बात थी. मणिपुर में बीजेपी की सरकार है तो वहां महिला सुरक्षित नहीं है. राम रहीम हमेशा पेरोल पे आ जाते हैं. तो मैं पूछना चाहता हूं कि बीजेपी की सरकार में ये जो बलात्कारी लोग हैं, जिन पे महिलाओं पे उत्पीड़न का आरोप लगता है, ये बीजेपी की सरकार में क्यों पाए जाते हैं? बीजेपी की सरकार में क्यों है? सवाल तो इस बात का है ना, उत्तर प्रदेश में तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार है, क्यों भाई भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार में महिलाओं पर अत्याचार बढ़ रहा है? इसके मतलब पुलिस प्रशासन खत्म हो चुका है, खाकी का रौब खत्म हो चुका है। वो अपनी चूंकि हार गई है उत्तर प्रदेश में भारतीय जनता पार्टी, अब वो चूंकि जनता ने उनको नकार दिया है, अब वो हर चीज में एक एंगल खोजते हैं। वो भूल जाते हैं कि सरकार उनकी है।
मुझे पता नहीं किसका रोब खत्म हो गया है, लेकिन किसकी कॉन्शियंस खत्म होती चली जा रही है वो जरूर आज दिख रहा है। आपकी कॉन्शियंस में बंगाल पर कहना कुछ नहीं है, आपकी कॉन्शियंस में बंगाल नहीं है, आपकी कॉन्शियंस में है कि बीजेपी का रोब खत्म हो गया है। दैट इज अ बिगर इशू फॉर यू अनुराग भदौरिया। मेरे लिए रोब की बात नहीं है, ये भारत की बेटी की बात है, और वो भारत की बेटी हाथरस की हो, उन्नाव की हो, वो कहीं की भी हो, वो बंगाल की हो, कन्नौज की हो, वो भारत की बेटी के लिए कम से कम मैं तो खड़ी रहूंगी। और आज मैं ये सवाल अर्का कुमार नाग से पूछना चाहती हूँ। अर्का कुमार नाग, आई वॉन्ट टू आस्क यू, अनुराग भदौरिया जी, आज की डिबेट में थोड़ा सा सेंसिटिविटी आपको भी दिखानी चाहिए। आप रोब की बात कर रहे हैं, मैं महिलाओं की बात कर रही हूं, मैं बच्चियों की बात कर रही हूं। मुझे आपका रोब जो है वो आपका रोब सर आंखों पर आज हम रोब की बात नहीं कर रहे। आप बहुत बड़े नेता हैं, आपकी पार्टी बहुत बड़ी राजनीतिक दल है, बीजेपी की सरकारें बहुत जगह चल रही हैं, लेकिन मैं रोब की बात नहीं कर रही हूं। मैं बात कर रही हूं महिलाओं की जिनके साथ बलात्कार करके उन्हें मार दिया जाता है एक सरकारी कॉलेज के अंदर। मैं आज उसकी बात कर रही हूं।
अगर हिंदी आपकी कमजोर है तो हम क्या करें? नाविका जी बताइए आप। मैं कह रहा हूं खाकी का रोब, मैं कह रहा हूं प्रशासन का रोब, मैं कह रहा हूं उनके हनक जो होती है पुलिस की वो खत्म हो गया है। आप उसको पार्टी से जोड़ रही। दूसरी बात, मैं बोल रहा हूं पश्चिम बंगाल में
मेरी कमजोर जरूर हो सकती है, आपकी सोच, आपकी समझ और आपकी जो कॉन्शियंस है वो कमजोर नहीं होनी चाहिए। मेरी बस इतनी सी रिक्वेस्ट है आपसे। मैं अर्का कुमार नाग से आई हैव अ क्वेश्चन, एंड अर्का कुमार नाग, आई वांट टू आस्क यू द सेम CBI. No, Anurag Bhadoria, I'm not yielding. I'm not giving you 1 second every 10 seconds. No, I'm going to Arka Kumar Nag because I have serious questions to ask him. And Arka Kumar Nag, my questions to you are the same CBI which was not being given consent by the Bengal government is the agency which will now investigate this case after the High Court of Kolkata has stepped in. Number one, I'll tell you why the High Court has given that decision. Because the man who was the rapist, so-called alleged rapist, was working in the police welfare board and a volunteer there. Nobody gets into the welfare board as volunteer when they have cases of domestic violence pending in police thanas. 4 marriages, and every time there was violence, and there are cases of domestic violence pending against the man. The man is posted in the KG Car college, and then he goes and allegedly does this rape. The principal of the college does not register an FIR. The principal of the college is not questioned for 5 days. When the protests rise, the protests lead to his resignation, which is not accepted, but within 4 hours, he is placed as a principal in the Calcutta National Medical College. That is the kind of protection and cover-up that is going on. Till day 5, nobody in the police has confirmed whether this was a gang rape or a rape, because there's been only one arrest in 5 days. The gang rape theory, if it is true, then where are the other people? For 5 days, nobody is questioned. The 4 medical doctors who had dinner with the victim, they are not questioned. The principal, the superintendent, the additional superintendent, nobody is questioned. What's going on? And then there is the audio tape where high and mighty are being alleged to be involved because there are others who could be part of the gang rape theory. I want to ask you, Mr. Nag, what's going on? In a government college, a lady doctor is not safe? Is this the new Bengal?
Right. Well, Navika ji, the first and foremost thing which I would like to tell the viewers through you is that nobody is supporting what the the principal has done. And I am not at all, as a person concerned, as an advocate, as a citizen, as a brother to my sisters, as a son to my mother, I have absolutely no support to whatever has been the conduct of the principal is. The principal has not taken things in the manner he should have been. The principal is like the head of the family, and the head of the family has to be more responsible, and there is no defensing to that effect. That's one. Secondly, the government...
Can I please ask you, if nobody is defending the principal, then how does he get placed as a principal of another college in 4 hours? If he has not conducted himself well?
I am not hearing this question. I am not hearing this question. I am replying to your earlier question. Let me reply. So the first.
Why are you not hearing this question? It's a legitimate question I'm asking you.
Principal. I will hear you. I will hear you.
Oh my God!
Interrupt me and ask the question. Let
Judge,
me complete. Then you will ask the question.
You will decide when you want to hear my question.
So the point is very clear that the principal's conduct is. I know you will not allow me to reply. That is fine. But like we do not judge journalists as a bunch because somebody is misbehaving or somebody is taking it in the wrong way. I believe the journalists should also not put the entire police force of Kolkata at in the witness box because somebody is delinquent or somebody has committed a crime for which he should be even hanged. So let's not demean the force. The police force was trying to do their work, and I do not believe. The courts have observed certain things which the court felt that could have been done, and now it has been given to the CBI. In past, Bengal has not seen much of the filing of charge sheets and adhering to trials so far as CBI investigations are concerned. But I hope, I pray with folded hands that CBI will not waste any time, will not do any dilly-dally, will not take months and years, but will go ahead and file the charge sheets as soon as possible, because as you know, even in the press it was there that the person concerned who was apprehended by the Kolkata police has accepted its crime. It is only pending the FSL report, which is awaited. As I know, it has been already sent for the tests.
Well, I'm coming to you, Shehzad, but Dr. Subarna Goswami joining in, Additional General Secretary of the All India Federation of Government Doctors. And I want to ask you, Dr. Goswami. He says the police has done nothing wrong. Let's not paint them in a brush, as a complete force. They've done whatever they could. Do you think the police not questioning anybody till today, is something that the police did right? Do you think the suicide theory that was first given was right? Do you think the fact that the gang rape still is something that the police hasn't admitted to, and therefore only one arrest has been made? Nobody else is even in the under the lens of investigation. Do you think the police has done its job well?
Actually, truly speaking, we are not thinking. We, the doctors' organizations, we have formed a joint platform here, and we went to meet the victims' parents on Sunday evening. And we came to know from her parents that the police, the hospital authority had called them over telephone and asked them that their daughter has committed a suicide and they should come to the hospital. When they went to the hospital, that principal that kept them waiting for more than 3 hours, just to see their daughter's dead body. And then they were trying their best to hide it off. That lady doctor was psycho, and it need not it don't require any post-mortem exams. That's when we came in the picture. We, the doctors' organization, started moving against it, and we strongly objected that it's a clear case of rape and murder. It is visibly a rape and murder case, and you should conduct a videograph post-mortem exam. Then only the college authority conducted a videograph post-mortem. The inquest report came out, and we came to know that multiple injuries are there on the body of the poor victim, and finally, when our parents showed us the post-mortem report, it is clearly evident that there are multiple injuries over the scalp, over the face, over everywhere of the body, and all those injuries were inflicted ante-mortem, that is before murder. Whereas the police was claiming beforehand that held Sanjay Rai that he committed the murder first, and then he had raped the dead body only. So that was negated by the post-mortem. And the post-mortem report also shows that almost 151 gram of white, thick, basic fluid were collected from inside her vaginal canal, and that clearly hints that there is every possibility of multiple involvement. It's not the act of a single man, but multiple men, more than one man. And definitely the police is reaching out even to the house of the ex-girlfriend of that held civic volunteer Sanjay Rai, but they have not found any time to question even the 4 colleagues with whom the girl had dinner, and even those who had night duty.
Very important point. Very important point, Dr. Goswami. And I want to ask you, Mr. Nag, if they do not even question anybody, is it a police that is trying to find out the details and the truth in this case? Number one. Number two, if the statement that they made about the fact that, the accused, the man who's been arrested, Sanjay Roy, actually they're believing his statement, then the post-mortem report doesn't match with that. And the principal keeps the parents of the victim waiting for 3 hours. And you are saying that the police has done their job and the principal was following his own dharma?
No way. That's why we, the doctors.
No, I never said that the principal is following the own dharma. I believe you heard it wrong. I made it very clear. I am repeating it for clarity. The actions of the principal are not defended here. I am not bothered about what the principal's actions are. He has been sent to holiday for 15 days. The courts are watching it.
Bengal government, not by the Bengal government. The Bengal government gave him another plum posting in 4 hours. The High Court, had to send him on leave. The High Court had to send him on leave. No, Mr. Nag, you can't get away. You have to answer the question. It is the High Court that sent the man, the principal Sandeep Ghosh, on leave, not the West Bengal government. Why are you running away from that fact? Why are you running away from that fact? Who's protecting Sandeep Ghosh? Who's protecting Sandeep Ghosh?
So far as the post-mortem reports are concerned, or the FSL reports are concerned.
Well, Mr. Nag, if you don't want to answer questions, then it's pointless asking you questions. But Shehzad Poonawala, if the High Court sends him on leave, the state government was actually giving him another plum posting within 4 hours. What does this demonstrate?
I would request camera number 2. Mr. Arka, I did not interrupt you. Mr. Arka, you can't
I think on a sensitive debate, we must have our... It's not a recitation of a poem, okay? This is a debate show where you have to answer questions. Now, if you want to just rattle off a pre-decided script, then sorry.
And nobody asks questions when somebody is talking.
This will only further the entire matter.
Please,
Let me come with
please
some facts.
Respond.
The only person actually, Arkaji, defending the delinquent principle was your government when your standing counsel stood up in the High Court and was chastised by the High Court that you have come here to defend this principle. Here is the order of the Health Ministry. And who's the Health Minister of Kolkata, Bengal? Please do Google it. Issuing an order for his reinstatement within hours. And this is not the only time, Navika. In 2021, this particular principle had been removed. And within 1 day, 24 hours, he was reinstated. And I can read out the order for you. Then the government goes and defends his actions in High Court. Thereafter, you have said about the police. The police should be rewarded for the work it's done. Let me just quote you 3 or 4 paragraphs of the order today. Today, first paragraph. The parents believe that the investigation will be derailed if the state police continues the investigation, para 26 of the High Court order. Para 29, no significant probe has taken place after August 9 by the West Bengal police. After that, para 30, the administration, state administration was not with the victim or with the family of the victim. Para 32, parents believe that there's every possibility that the evidence will be destroyed if this matter continues with West Bengal police. This is the state of the police as per the High Court. And by the way, how is this person who has complaints against him working in the Police Welfare Board? These are specific questions. The only person defending both the principle and the actions of the police which are beyond, which are in the realm of suspicion is you. And therefore my question to you, Mr. Arka, is who's the Home Minister of Bengal? Mamata Banerjee. Who's the Health Minister of Bengal? Actually, Health Minister also, Mamata Banerjee. What action should happen on her?
Mr. Nag.
Well, I am trying to repeat myself again because I am not saying that the things have been done and the principal's action is beyond question. It is already under judicial review. He's already in a holiday for 15 days. I do not know whether it will culminate to a disciplinary proceeding or not, but that has to be given time with. But what happened was on 8th of August night, discovered in the 9th of August, investigations started, people apprehended, FSL visceras were called for, postmortem came in, reports came in only on 12th of August.
Arka.
Today we are on the 13th of August.
Arka, 1 second.
Please
one second. I don't want to interrupt you. Arka, I don't want to interrupt you. Arka, I don't want to interrupt you. Just one line.
And if there
Arka,
are
just one line.
matters of gang rape,
Arka, just one line.
are matters of other
Arka, just one line.
has to be looked into.
Arka, just one line.
Now the CBI will look
Arka,
into
just
it.
one line. Arka, just one line. Just one line.
Just
one line. Navika, just one line. You are very right. You said incident took place on 9th August. Everything came on 12th August. Then why on 12th August was his reinstatement issued? You should have then given him a standing order that wait, we'll see the facts and then we'll reinstate you. Why was this tearing hurry in reinstating him? And who reinstated
You are again making another mistake. Please try to understand. The principal is not an accused in this rape case.
Now suddenly you are defending the principal.
It might be the fact that the principal.
So now you are defending the
principal is not an accused, but the principal is sent on leave by the High Court, not by the state government. The principal does not register an FIR. Well,
no,
I don't understand.
Right.
Priya Chetty
Gopal
Gopal
has not sent the principal to leave. You are wrong. You are misinformed.
I'm misinformed. May I read the High Court order to you, sir? May I read the High Court order to you because your information is a darn sight worse than my information. If you are, may I read the order of the High Court? And paragraph 25 says, we have advised the learned advocate appearing for Professor Sandeep Kumar Ghosh to direct his client to immediately proceed on leave, failing which the court will be compelled to pass necessary orders. On oral instruction, the learned advocate submitted that his client will immediately proceed on leave. If such an application is submitted, we will accept this and the man is sent on leave. But Priya Chetty Rajgopal, are these issues and these loopholes, a desperate attempt at finding loopholes, not proving a point that somewhere some cover-up is on? The principal behaves in the manner that he does. On the 4th day, he resigns. He's placed in 4 hours. He does not even register an FIR. The murder is first called a suicide by the police, no less. Just what's going on?
Before I say anything, Navika, in the midst of this terrible tragedy, to this poor girl who was a potential healer to a city and to a country, I just want to convey my absolute condolences and my sincere empathy to the parents who have lost a child and in this tragic a way. But we turn to cliches like this because we are faced with horror. And what else can we do except say those cliches of how sorry we are and how outraged we are? Think of the parent situation. What you've mentioned is absolutely right. There are so many facts and layers and threads which clearly lead to an establishment of the fact that it was not as simple as it seemed. It is much, much more complex and much more murky than that. Think of the parent situation, waiting outside for 3 hours while their child, apparently who was supposed to be psychotic, has committed suicide. I mean, these are kind of words which have been bandied around. How is it that a doctor or a principal even assumes suicide with the kind of terrible injuries that she's suffered? And the fact that he could make a comment about her working late or, psychotic or whatever. Where was a system in place to respond to something like this? And another thing that really tears at my heart is how come she was not discovered until the morning? Did no one hear her cries? With the kind of injuries that she had and the kind of violence she was subjected to, nobody heard her right through the night after 2 o'clock that she, went to the room to take some rest. And look at the reverberations, medical care with doctors, suffering, just thinking of this terrible case, but the system is on strike, patients will suffer, doctors will suffer, and I'm sure they're aware of that. Look at the kind of, the ripples. From a long-term point of view, what is going to happen to women at work? Do you know how many steps we're taking backwards? And I'm sorry, I'm taking this a little higher than, discussing the terrible tragedy of this poor girl. But what is it going to do to people who are going to go to work, who are going to look over their shoulders rather than do a good job? How many steps backward is it for women's financial and social independence? And it's so important. Long back, I remember the police commissioner of Bangalore mentioned, when we had put out an online petition saying, get more women to work, and what do you really need? You need good transport, you need good lighting, and you need a quick response to the 100 number, and things could improve. Very simplistic of me, but I know they put in 3 out of 3, and it did make a lot of improvement in Bangalore. There are things that need to be done. And how much more important right now, Navika, is for us to look at justice as well. We do need justice, not a swift and effective justice, and we certainly need an ethical and a correct police response to what has happened. This has been completely slapdash, horrendous. And mind you, this is in a metro, in a big city, in a metro like Kolkata, in a big police station, and in the visibility of a large government hospital where a lot of people are floating around. What happens in smaller places? Your mind shudders when you see something as obvious as this clearly sliming away from the real issue. And I heard some of the comments. The conversations were primarily about who's at fault and which government did what to whom. And it chilled my heart, really. And I understand that people have to do their job, but as in the politics that they are. But at the end of it, there is a young girl who was on the threshold of her life to be a healer to people like us. It hurts. It really does. What's the cover up here? How many others can afford to go to the CBI? Can every case like this go to the CBI? Look at the kind of numbers we're dealing with in India. I mean, we have Live Mint has talked about 99% cases of sexual assault are not reported. 99%. That's a scary, scary statistic. And yet, in 15 years, we've had 31,000 rape cases. Look at the Nirbhaya Fund. It is underutilized to an incredible number. There are only 4 cities that are using it right now. Where is the focus on safe city?
Forget that. Laws were changed in the Nirbhaya case, and still it took 8 years for Nirbhaya to get justice. And look at those visuals. What is shocking today is the report of those visuals where construction activity has begun when CBI will go in to check and get evidence. Just at that moment. Of course, it's being disputed. But look at those construction activity. It looks like it's a freshly, made breakage over there. It doesn't look like it was there earlier. Now, to do this? If it's true, and if reports on social media about this construction that is now taking place is just because it seems like a absolutely fine corridor, but suddenly there are, those walls that are being broken. Is this just so that the seminar room, which is just a few feet away, some botch up in evidence takes place? Isn't that also a question that begs an answer on when this happened, Shehzad?
Absolutely. And first of all, let me put on record that how much I appreciate the larger perspective that Priyaji has just given this issue. But Priyaji, for that larger perspective to prevail, it is necessary that such test cases become cases where exemplary action takes place on the back of a solid investigation. And therefore, one has to pursue every little bit of information and ensure that no injustice is done. Do you know, as we speak, West Bengal has a conviction rate of 2.5%. in rapes. Uttar Pradesh has 71%. I think all states should have 100%. I'm not saying Uttar Pradesh has achieved everything, but here is the problem. The problem is that when top leaders make women's issues an issue of vulture politics, they outrage on some issues, they go quiet on other issues. They look at the state where the issue has taken place, they look at the victim's religion, they look at the accused's background, and then they decide how much to outrage rather than giving a national response. Today, all doctors are on the streets, all women are on the streets, all men should be on the streets. But the problem is that our politics is dividing this between a TMC issue and a BJP issue. Today, therefore, I ask, leader of opposition and the leader of the House. The leader of the House has spoken. The leader of the House's party is on the ground. Where is the leader of opposition's party? He's missing in action. This means that they do not consider this to be an issue of bipartisanship only for the sake of a petty political alliance.
Poonawalla, it's an issue of not just us women, it's about our daughters. It's about the next generation. Why is there selective outrage? Is a very pertinent question.
There isn't selective outrage, as I told you, and I gave you the names. I don't want to do this to me. Simple questions. Will Ram Rahim's parole, Asaram's parole, it's just on Times now, Asaram got parole, and will the CBI file an FIR against Sandeep Ghosh, the principal, Sandeep Kumar Ghosh? Specific questions. What, who did is not important. I'm not even blaming the Prime Minister didn't act on Manipur. The Manipur Chief Minister is not yet sacked. He came on national TV and said the reason we shut internet more than Ukraine is not 2 women were paraded naked, including the wife of somebody who fought in Kargil, but hundreds of women were paraded naked, and that man is not yet kicked out as Chief Minister. His tweets were made to be deleted. I am asking a simple question. Will Ram Rahim, will Asaram parole be cancelled? They also raid Betis of India. Will Sandeep Kumar Ghosh, will there be an FIR against?
Navika,
yes or no?
let me answer this. I'm ashamed to answer this, but this is the thing that Tehseen keeps doing even at home many times. Tehseen Poonawalla will come here, try to defend the Congress with all kinds of inanities. Can you please read the statement? Parole granted as per law. Former Haryana CM Ram Rahim's parole controversy, Mr. Huda's statement.
When is that?
1 second.
Is that
now,
today?
Tehseen, don't interrupt.
Is that today?
Tehseen, don't interrupt.
Is that today?
Don't interrupt.
This
is my time to speak. Don't interrupt. The problem with the likes of Tehseen Poonawalla is, I'll tell you the difference between BJP and Congress, and I don't mind if my party gets cornered also on issues like this. My party takes a stand in Manipur. We took strictest action against those who perpetrated those crimes. Hathras, the person got convicted. Unnao, it was our MLA, we got him convicted within 2 years, he was kicked out of the party, nobody defended him. Here Samajwadi Party defends Mohit Khan, does not kick him out of the party. Says Nawab Yadav se hamara kya lena dena, don't task us. Rahul Gandhi will keep quiet on Sandesh Khali, he will keep quiet on Neha Hiremad, he will keep quiet on range of issues including Tajmul's beating in Uttar Dinajpur, and Tehseen Poonawalla will come and say court granted parole, on which his own chief minister once upon a time had defended.
Well, tonight, I just think we should pause, take a deep breath. We're fighting for justice to be done. We're fighting not for one government, we're fighting for every government to wake up, to look at cases of this kind and not find some excuse or the other to corrupt. We're looking for safety and security of our betis, of our daughters. Today it's her, tomorrow, who knows whose daughter it will be. And that's why let's not make this into a slugfest of who does a better job on politicizing the entire issue. And as Priya said, and I second you completely, Priya, In this case, it was a healer. You know, somebody who was learning, sleeping, at 3 o'clock in the morning because she was working through the night to care for patients who needed her attention and her healing touch. If this girl cannot be protected by us, then as a society, as a country, we need to hang our heads in shame. And the cover-up, enough has been said about it. May the conscience of people dealing with this case rise up to the occasion to deliver justice. We say this when an incident happens. Our outrage peaks when an incident of this kind happens and shakes our conscience. But then we get busy with life and we all forget, because it's all about daily survival and daily politics. Let this case be an eye-opener, and we pray and demand justice. Let's leave it at that today, because this kind of a gory death, God help, should really create trouble somewhere here in your conscience, whoever you are, whoever the high and mighty are. Thank you very much to all the panelists for joining me on this big story.